Shout out to our sponsor, Movement Watches.
Get multiple watches in one with bands you can switch out for a whole new look. Because who needs to buy a whole new watch for every occasion?
Get 15% off your entire purchase at movementwatches.com/theknow.
Welcome to The Know. I'm Mica Burton.
I'm Ryan Haywood.
Never fear, Spider-Man. Nathan Drake is coming to the rescue.
What? Who?
Well, maybe? Can you imagine that?
What situation is Nathan Drake gonna help that Spider-Man would normally handle?
Well, listen, if Spider-Man runs out of web, then Nathan Drake is there with his grappling hook.
But Spider-Man still has super strength and reflexes.
Well, what if
and
something happens? What if there's like spider kryptonite?
Proportional speed of a spider. Anyway,
Listen.
A new report today raises an interesting question. Could video games be coming to the rescue of Sony's struggling film division?
The company is considering restructuring its U.S. operations, which might include placing Sony Pictures Entertainment under its bigger and more profitable gaming division, according to a story from the New York Post.
That could mean that Andrew House, the head of Sony Interactive Entertainment, would get oversight of the movie studio.
The Post had a juicy quote from an unnamed source who said, "There's talk that they are going to merge Sony Pictures Entertainment with PlayStation."
For its part, Sony vehemently denied that any such considerations were taking place.
This is nothing but baseless rumor and speculation. Baseless. A Sony Corporation spokesperson said Sunday night, "There are no plans for Andrew House to oversee Sony Pictures."
But see, there's an ellipse
There's
in
an
the
ellipsis,
quote.
so, like-
that actually means that there are no plans for him to take over in the next 5 minutes.
Right, exactly.
In the future, it's
all
totally
said,
fine.
stroking the beard, evil, mwahaha, lightning going off.
Absolutely. Baseless rumor and speculation.
Still, there's no doubt that Sony's gaming division is booming. You know how Black Friday is the biggest shopping day of the year? Well, apparently lots of those shoppers picked up PlayStation 4s this year, because Sony revealed that the PS4 has now sold 50 million, that's a lot of millions,
That's a lot of millions.
units, helped along by Black Friday buyers.
Also, if you look at the numbers, it's clear that Sony's gaming division is much, much bigger and more profitable than its film counterpart.
This year, Sony's gaming unit brought in $6.4 billion, that's a lot of billion, dollars in revenue for the period that ended September 30th and produced $624 million in profit. Sony Pictures? Not so much. It had a revenue of only $3.7 billion. Only $3.7 billion.
Really scraping the bottom of the barrel there.
And in the same period, it posted an operating loss of $74 million. That's a lot of millions.
How is Sony CEO gonna sleep on his giant bed of money if they're only bringing in $3.7 billion versus $6.4 billion?
He's gonna have to go with a solid gold bed rather than a solid platinum bed. It's just
That's a lot of numbers.
A lot of numbers.
So it would make sense that Sony might, want to shake things up. While Sony Pictures has had some moderate successes this year with Ghostbusters and the Angry Birds movie, the studio is currently in 5th place in box office receipts this year. And last month, Sony had to revise its financial forecast downwards for the films unit due to poor performance.
Yeek. The Sony Pictures unit includes a movie studio, a global cable division, and a TV production company that has produced shows ranging from Mad Men to Jeopardy!
So, while nothing's been said publicly yet about merging gaming and films at Sony, it's very clear that video games are paying a lot of the bills at Sony. Like $3.2 billion worth of bills.
It's a lot of bills. It's a lot of bills. For starters, the PS4 is already the undisputed champ of the console generation, and lately it has accounted for a majority of Sony's profits. For the first quarter of 2016, Sony's PlayStation division accounted for a whopping 78% of the company's $546 million in quarterly profits, according to VentureBeat. That was an increase of 14.5% from the same period in 2015.
This significant increase was primarily due to a significant increase in PS4 software sales, including sales through the PlayStation Network, according to Sony's financial report from earlier this year. Fiscal report is what it also said.
Financial, fiscal, same
thing. Money.
The money report. Meanwhile, Sony is seeing declines elsewhere in its smartphone. It has a smartphone.
They make smartphones?
They make smartphones.
All right.
Its semiconductor and life insurance business. It has a life insurance business. And of course, in films.
On which I think a life insurance benefit is about to pay out.
Yeah. But
Sony isn't unique. Gaming has been overtaking other forms of entertainment everywhere.
See, Mom, I told you I could play video games for a job. As an industry, video games now generate more revenue than the movie and music industries. Last year, video game revenue in the US eclipsed $23.5 billion, up 5% from a year earlier. That growth was driven partly by the shift towards digital software over physical games, plus the growth of mobile games, not to mention esports and virtual reality, which means there's a lot more potential growth on the horizon.
Conversely, Sony Pictures Entertainment has been having a rough couple of years, ever since the 2014 hacking scandal. The company has pulled in $885 million so far in 2016, according to Box Office Mojo. But that's a drop of more than 9% from last year. And there's only a couple weeks left to go. It's kind of a big drop from the studio's all-time high, of almost $1.8 billion in 2012.
So, yeah, Sony Pictures has been in a bit of a funk, and its parent company has definitely taken notice.
Earlier this year, Sony Corporation of America, which oversees Sony Pictures along with music and electronics, was told to slash costs and lay off staff after a number of disappointing movie releases.
Ouch! And whether or not Sony's gaming unit takes over films, analysts have said that Sony's gaming business has already become much more important to the company's success than the movie division.
The growth story is pivoted to gaming, and you have a PlayStation 4 upgrade and a VR headset initiative in the second half, according to Bloomberg intelligence analyst Jitendra Worrell.
The intersection of video games and movies is a hot topic these days, and not just at Sony.
Indeed! Nintendo's president has said that the company is going to put a number of its iconic characters on the big screen in coming years.
I just want a Yoshi movie.
And if we could
That's
never
it.
have another Super Mario Brother movie like the last one, that would be
Oh
great.
no, recreation, but this time with Chris Pine and Chris Pratt. That's what I want.
I don't know. Those are the wrong. No.
The company is currently negotiating with movie production studios around the world in search of a partner, said President Tatsumi Kimishima.
The idea, from Nintendo's point of view, is to use movies featuring its franchise characters to help expand the audience for its video games, in case you haven't heard of them.
I mean, I don't know who Mario is. I need a Mario movie, clearly.
But Luigi, he had that
Oh.
whole Ghost Mansion.
Yeah.
He really.
I would love a full-on horror film of Luigi's Mansion. I mean, scary, gritty, terrifying.
I mean, there was that whole series of movies that Disney got away with, like Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see it. As we look more broadly at what is Nintendo's role as an entertainment company, we're starting to think more and more about how movies can fit in with that, and we'll potentially be looking at things like movies in the future. Shigeru Miyamoto told Fortune earlier this year at E3.
Well, so what do you think of Sony's video game division possibly overseeing its films? Let us know in the comments.
And for more news on all things Sony, be sure to like this video and subscribe to The Know.
Thanks to Movement Watches for sponsoring this update.
Movement watches are made with versatility in mind because you don't want to buy a whole new watch for every occasion.
Hey, are you wearing brown shoes? You are wearing brown shoes.
I am wearing brown shoes!
Look, you can switch out your band for a brown leather band. Bam! New watch.
You know, I wish I did that, but I'm wearing a pink watch, pink band with rose gold.
Rose gold,
It's very
nice,
girly.
yeah.
I'm liking it.
This, on the other hand, the Black Widow, as I like to call it.
Oh!
Yes.
Oh, a lovely name.
Black band, black face with just a hint of red. Watches start at $95, but you can get 15% off your entire purchase when you go to movementwatches.com/theknow.